Hello, welcome to PSI. Today I'm going to go through radio frequency. This is going to be a condensed educational video. So I'm going to be talking about what is radio frequency, what creates radio frequency, and why do we need to understand radio frequency as a paranormal investigator. Let's get into it. The radio spectrum is part of the electromagnetic spectrum, and that's very important. You remember I said that part of the electromagnetic spectrum, with frequencies from 3 Hz to 3000 gigahertz. Electromagnetic waves in the frequency range are called radio waves. They are widely used in modern day technology, particularly in telecommunications. Now, without going too technical, I'll just go through the boring stuff. So the radio waves were formerly called Hertzian waves. That's if you need to research that. They are a type of electromagnetic radiation, as I've already said, with the lowest frequencies and the longest wavelengths in the electromagnetic spectrum. Now we've got all that out the way, and I'm sure it's sank in. Let me talk about what can create radio waves other than man-made machines or meters and instruments. What natural occurring things can create radio waves? Let's take a look. Lightning. So lightning is the most common and powerful natural source of ELF waves, the lowest of all radio frequencies. Waves produced by lightning can bounce back and forth between the Earth and the ionosphere. Because radio waves bounce from the ionosphere back down to the Earth, does that mean that radio waves just keep bouncing around the Earth until they eventually fade or are absorbed by something on Earth, some sort of material? Each bounce dissipates some of the energy of the radio wave, to the extent that after the third or fourth bounce, the radio wave's strength is less than that of the background noise at that frequency, and the signal disappears into the noise. So this means that it cannot today pick up old radio broadcasts from the past. It does, however, mean that it can pick up radio signals from that present time, from what's going on. In the area, you've got to remember, you're going to have like hospitals, cities, taxi stations, train stations, everything where people use radios. Now, these signals are going to be bouncing around. They will eventually fade. So you might be wondering, what has this got to do with me as a paranormal investigator or a ghost hunter? It's got quite a lot to do with you. It interferes with your equipment. It's the biggest thing. It's the biggest pollution of false positives that you can actually get is RF signal, radio frequency. You've got your K2 meters, you've got your M-pods, what everybody uses. We don't actually use them. They are not shielded circuits. Radio frequency or RF signal, which is bouncing around, can interfere with this equipment. So you will notice that we use a tri-field meter, a digital tri-field meter. This is shielded correctly, and it's a proper piece of kit. You pay a lot more money for them, but it's worth it in the end, so you don't get your false positives. If we was getting a reading on our tri-field meter, we would be trying to rule it out with another EMF meter running alongside of it, seeing what is causing this background noise, this interference. Which brings me to a fourth question I know you guys are going to ask, which I didn't mention at the beginning. Why is RF signal setting my equipment off? What is it? What is in my equipment? Why the RF signal is interfering with it? Well, there's quite a few things in different pieces of equipment. As you know, things are made up of different components. Electrical components contain many capacitors of different strengths, which can be affected by different frequencies of RF signal. So it shouldn't come to you as any surprise that radio signal can set off your equipment. It can give you false positives. This is because mainly of capacitors in electrical equipment like REM pods, which technically isn't a piece of paranormal equipment. You've got your K2 meters. Again, it's not a piece of paranormal equipment, wasn't designed for that. They are full of unshielded capacitors, and RF signal, depending on the frequency, can affect different type of capacitors, which is why your equipment's going off when you're thinking, what could be setting this off? We look for answers. We don't jump to the paranormal. This is just one of the answers, what can trigger your equipment giving you false positives. This is why you need to know about RF signal or radio frequency. So there you have it. I hope this video has been educational for you. You haven't found it too boring. RF signal or radio frequency as we know it is a necessity you need to know about, and what it will do to your equipment or certain pieces of your equipment. This is what this video was intended for. So if you've got any questions, please leave them below. I will answer them if I can. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I will see you all again really soon.